So this is one of those films that I saw as a screen unseen, but I was really pleased when the title card came up because it was on my watch list anyway. Woo! Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content as well as movie reviews here on this channel every week. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above in case you are looking for something else to watch this weekend. Yes, so we have The Rental Family. This is Brendan Fraser, who is an unemployed actor from the US, but living in Tokyo. So the whole story it is pinned around the fact that he came to Tokyo to do this ad for toothpaste, which made him famous and gave him money. And then he's been kind of trying to find more work ever since, which is why he stayed in Tokyo. He ends up going to work for a rental family company. So he gets noticed at an audition for something else and ends up going to work for this rental family company, which is a real thing in Japan. They do bespoke therapeutic role play services. So coming back as for example, somebody who goes into a factory to be really bad at their job so the manager can fire them and send a message to the other people. So Philip is kind of not in the best place mentally, and so kind of does take a lot from working with these families and working with other people. He probably sort of takes as much from them as they get from him, because he's obviously there on his own without his family. Although in his first rental family job, we do see him nearly not go through with it, which he does get obviously rebuked for. But they sort of follow three main storylines over the course of the film, which you see in the trailer as well. So it starts off with this wedding gig where he has to pretend to marry someone, which is quite a big gig to start with, essentially, because they want to kind of escape their family for their own reasons, which I will not spoil. Then the three main jobs that you see him going back to are to pretend to be a journalist to interview an aging kung fu movie actor, to pretend to be an estranged father to a little girl so that her mother can get her into an esteemed private school, and to go and be a friend to somebody and sit and play computer games with this guy, which I thought was really sweet. I did cry during the course of the film. There are a couple of moments in the film that made me cry, and I think it was kind of the fact that we just have Brendan Fraser, and so you see him obviously going into these three people's lives, and you see him speaking with his agency as well, and sort of you see a bit of background to the agency too as to whether they're good at doing what they do or not. But I think you get this intensity because you're with him all the time and you're with him switching between these three different characters, because obviously he has three different names when he's going and visiting these people. He's playing these characters, this absent father, this fake journalist, and this friend of a person. And he even has a pair of glasses that he wears for one of the jobs. It's a serious acting job. He's still doing his acting job. But I think the reason that it got sort of an emotional reaction from me is because you do get this intensity of kind of playing out with him. From the trailers, this definitely looks like it's going to be more of a comedy than it was. However, there were times when the cinema did laugh, because there's almost slapstick comedy in it, as well as there being comedy that's kind of more inherently oh, that's a funny situation. And I will say, despite the fact that this is not getting the greatest reviews, for it being a screen unseen, often when the title card comes up or after the first few minutes, you will get people walking out. And if you watch my review of Pillion, if you know you are over 18, then you will see that like the cinema emptied out quite substantially whilst watching that. I went to see Elemental as a screen unseen, and quite a few people left that because they didn't want to watch a Pixar movie. And then when I went to watch the one about the mother, that's a bit controversial on this channel because people don't like the fact that it was a French speaking film, and people don't like the fact that I gave it 45 minutes and then left because it's not a very long film, but I will always give a film 45 minutes before leaving. But like about half the cinema had left before I left anyway, so the fact that nobody in this cinema left shows that, you know, it was a completely full cinema, shows that they must have enjoyed this film. And I thought it was a really nice follow-up for Brendan Fraser. I'm a big Brendan Fraser fan. Like Mrs. Winterbourne is one of my favourite films. Absolutely loved him in that. But then obviously we saw him in The Whale. He played a character who wasn't entirely likeable in that. And so this is a kind of really nice follow-up for him because, again, there are certain moral questions around what he is doing, but he's an actor who is being paid to be an actor, and so he was doing his job, and actually he got quite a lot from it, compared to like what things are done. And so, yeah, I thought it was a nice film. It made me cry. It made me laugh. I thought the story arc was nice. I thought it was nice that we didn't follow too many families or situations or acting jobs, whether they were like Brendan Fraser's or other people within the agency. And I really liked the different shots that I got to see of Tokyo as well, because I think that quite often when you see Tokyo in films, you only see really specific shots of Tokyo, like the subway system or like the busy streets or like the food. And I think you got to see a lot more of Tokyo. You got to see like where normal people live, in a sense as well, which I really enjoyed. So should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one? I think it was a really nice film. I enjoyed it. I don't think it is one of those that you have to go and see at the cinema. I thought, you know, the colours were fantastic, and like I say, I enjoy seeing the shots of Tokyo, but I think you could probably appreciate them on the smaller screen as well. I think it's a nice happy medium, thinking about what's on at the cinema at the minute. It is a nice happy medium. It's somewhere in the middle. It's not super actiony. It's not super romantic. It's just something which you could go and see with some friends, or go and see with a partner, or go and see as a group and talk about afterwards. So yeah, so I would recommend it. I don't think you have to rush to go and see it at the cinema. As always, if there's a particular movie that you would like to hear my thoughts on next week, I'm more than happy to go and watch this week. Do let me know in comments. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my future movie reviews coming your way, as well as my top 10 movies of the year. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I will see you with my next one. Thanks for watching.